Hi, good afternoon. My name is Ann, and I'm with the band Dream Aria, and this is my very first edition of the Canadian Content Corner conversation via Zoom. So we're going to be talking with a very special guest shortly. She really needs no introduction, but nonetheless, it's going to be the most fabulous Darby Mills of the legendary Headpins. So hold on to your hats. She will be joining us shortly. I am quite well, thank you. How are you?
Well,
all things considered, right?
Things considered, trying to stay positive.
Absolutely.
Trying to
do
as many right things as I can do.
That's the thing. I mean, it's very trying times. So it's even in the best of times, we have our struggles. So you can only imagine now, right?
Yes.
So,
yeah.
So, I just want to thank you so much for taking your valuable time out to come and chat with me via Zoom. This is my very first official Zoom meeting. You are the first, so so bear with me. But sorry?
It's all good.
Awesome. And I just wanted to say, of course, you've been an amazing inspiration to me probably since I was around 12 or 13. And I won't mention any other numbers, but that aside, here we are all these years later, and I have to say I never would have imagined I'd be sitting here having a chat with you. So thank you again. I appreciate that. All right. So I was thinking, I have about 80 questions that were going through my head. I probably won't touch on all of them, of course. And you have to let me know if you need to leave at any time or need to pause. That's fine. But I was thinking of going, I know you're doing all these amazing things right now, of course, with the Darby Mills project and your jewelry. And I saw something with toque that was really awesome, and we'll get up to that later. But I'm actually curious about going back to the very, very beginning. And what I mean by that is, how did you even know you had this voice? At what age? How did that come to be? How did you recognize, oh, I have this voice and I want to use it? And what pushed you and drove you, and who influenced you? So that's my big loaded first question, I guess.
That's more than one question.
I know, I'm sorry, I have a lot.
Yeah, you want a quick answer? I don't think I'm capable, just to let you know. So.
There's no rush, there's no, don't worry, anything you would like to share is great. So.
Okay, so I think the first question was when, and I knew from really young, 5, 6, that I was going to be an entertainer of some sort. Thought an actress.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I did for a lot of years, and then I also grew up. My father was a singer, and
nice.
Listened to him as a child. A lot of this stuff is on the website if you want to read it rather than have me say it.
I will definitely, I have done some research on various sites and whatnot, but I kind of wanted to hear it from the lady herself. Sorry.
Right. No, that's fine. I was more speaking to your listeners if they wanted to.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Because it's not a I was going to say it's not a news story, but it might be to some. But so my dad would sing when I was a young child at the bonfire around the family cabin, and the lake was about a mile wide, and there was all campsites or cabins that surrounded the lake, and he would sing a song at the bonfire at night in the dark, and you could hear applause coming from the other side of the lake after he sang, and I was sold. I was just like, wow, that's huge. So that was the first switch that I recognized. And
something went off.
All kinds of little ones and just direction things, and the ability to travel, the ability to, had I known how hard it was going to be, I don't know if I'd have done it.
That's fair.
It has not been, the job is to make it look good enough that everybody wants to do it.
That's
so
true.
that you remain popular.
Yes,
that's the job,
true.
right?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
I have to say, though, that is a beautiful image, a beautiful memory. I can almost hear it and even smell the campfire and sense the water, the calm of the water, and just having that audience just that you can't see and that you know are out there just appreciating that's a beautiful thing. And definitely I can't imagine how that had an impact on you emotionally, and well, because it's your dad too, right? Very special. And I can relate to that myself because both my parents played in the symphony. So I all the time heard them playing French horn. I mean, the whole house would be shaking, right?
Yeah.
So
very cool.
Oh yeah, you know,
Very
it was.
cool.
I feel very, very lucky, and I'm sure you feel lucky too that you've had music from day one in your life. I know it's been your life, right? So I can relate to that too, and I've all kinds of stories myself. But anyway, moving on. So were there any particular vocalists that influenced you? I'm sure there must be.
Well, yeah, but the very, very first, I listened to show tunes as a kid. I would put those records on, Oklahoma, and there was a black one with a rainbow on it. I can't remember, but I listened to them nonstop, sang them all. But that was not your question.
No, that is. I mean,
influences.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but as a person who realized they thought maybe they could be a singer, it was, of course, Ann Wilson.
Oh, yes, I can hear that.
Pre that would have been Linda Ronstadt, and then after that, right after Ann Wilson, within the first year of singing Dreamboat Annie songs. Nice. For a year in my parents' basement, put my first band came together in my parents' basement. And after about a month of rehearsing, the guitar player brought the Pearl album over and said, check this out.
Very nice.
You sound like her.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized that I had a sound. And even though I've done many different sounds. I was in a 7-piece African-American band from Harlem, New York, for a very short period of time, but I lived with them and I traveled with them.
Wow,
and
that's amazing.
That was very different. It was dance, blues, disco.
Wow.
And, and it was on the road with them that I ran into Steelback, and then Steelback ran into the Headpins, or vice versa.
Yeah,
and that was 1979, joined the band in 1980.
Wow. And from there. Now, what about this reference? I mean, Janis Joplin, I've heard people, mention that reference, but, personally, she never crossed my mind when I've heard you sing. I hear Darby Mills on your own, and I'm not just saying that. I say, honestly, I only heard that reference a few days ago, and I thought, oh, yeah, okay, maybe some of the rasp, but other than that, I hear that showiness, that show tune, now that you say that, and I hear some of that Ann Wilson in the phrasing and emotion, but you've got definitely your own, you've got all different kinds of qualities. You've got sort of that clean, angelic sweetness, almost childlike, right up, to the gritty rasp, right? So I don't know if I ever heard Janis sing sweet and angelic. But
well, that's the thing, and being in the band, the Headpins that I was for basically 36 years, those weren't options, and truth be told, that was okay for many years, but started being a caregiver to my mom and dad, and 3 years after getting them back to health, lost my mom, and 6 months later my husband died on a gurney in our driveway. They brought him back to life. They broke 10 ribs. I have the story many times.
Scary. Yeah, I've heard the story. But, I'm so sorry you went through all of that.
Well, you know what? It makes you who you are, and life's not easy. There will always be challenges, and here's one of my epiphanies 7-8 years ago, is that if there's always going to be challenges, you might as well figure out how to fight for your own end game, your own, being part of, and this is down and dirty, being part of the Headpins was fabulous. Good times, bad times. But in the end, or at the end for me, there was no, I was bouncing off the walls trying to express myself. And then the realization that life is short. You could be gone tomorrow. There's no more excuses if you're laying on your this is it bed going 2 years ago I should have done this. I would have had it done by now. So that kind of just shook me to the roots or to the core, and I decided it was time to act on it. And so unfortunately it wasn't a pleasant thing, and life sucks sometimes, but
it's a catalyst. A lot of times pain and suffering can be a big catalyst, and like you said, very painful at the time, but then we go through this huge growth.
There's a saying out there, I'm sorry, the neighbor's cat is peeking down on me.
He wants to be
such a little devil. She's
I love it.
Bad. I'm in my basement, right? And she's standing in the window going like, what are you doing in there?
So cute. I love it. I wish I could see the animal lover here. So.
Yes, Cat Baloo, who's a friend of a pheasant that come and they play together.
The pheasant. Oh, wow.
It's a crazy world,
I need
when
video.
They can get along, if
can
they can get
video?
along.
I'm requesting video.
I have posted some video on the cat and on the pheasant, but not playing. It happens in my neighbor's yard, and I don't always want to be peeking at my neighbor's yard.
Yeah, peeping Tom. Yeah, well, knowing
it's frowned upon in some places.
Knowing me with my fancy cameras, that would be like, all stealthy and trying to get that
footage. Good. That's good. I'll take her word for it.
Well, shh, I know nothing. And that reminds me too. I was going to ask. I think, do you have a fur baby? I think you have. Did you have a dog? Do you have a dog of your own? Oh, hello. So sweet.
Did you see him?
I did.
That's Dobby the house elf.
That's so sweet.
He's named after actually Darby from Harry Potter, and he's 14. Aww. And he's not doing really good, and I love him so much, and I'm just dreading the day. But
so he's a sweetie. He's lucky to have you and the family, and and I have to say too. I mean, not to get back to the whole gurney incident, but from what I've seen, especially in the Queen of Scream video, your husband is so supportive, and I think partly because he was a musician, right, or in the field, but he's married to you, so I'm so glad to see that he was supportive, because that doesn't always happen.
He wasn't a musician. He co-managed the Headpins.
Management in the biz is what I meant. Sorry. Yes.
He plays bass. He thinks he plays bass.
bass solo. Oh, that's amazing. So you've got this. You've got your lovely fur baby. You've got your amazing supportive husband, and I believe you have. Is it 2 sons?
2 boys. Yeah.
2 boys, and they're grown, right? They're.
27 and 22 in about a week and a half. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So now, what do they think about rock star, Queen of Scream, mom, the icon, the legend? How do they grow up feeling about that? Or are they just, it's just my mom?
Pretty much. Yeah. It's just something that I left quite frequently to go do, and I'd come home, and they both saw me at like 3 or 4 and indifferent, 8 or 9 indifferent, 15 that's kind of cool, maybe, but don't admit it. And
don't admit it.
one of them thinks I'm cool now.
That's sweet. I like it. And I've noticed that with my own daughter growing up, although she loves music. She's been singing since she was a few days old. She wasn't the type to cry and fuss. She would literally hum herself to sleep. I thought, well, that was easy. I didn't have to do anything. Nice. And she just has been singing ever since. But when she sees me doing things with my band, she's like, yeah, whatever. And it's like you say, some days, that's cool. Mom, other days, it's like, you're so weird. I don't know. I'm creative. I'm sorry. I'm going to be weird. But it's kind of funny with how kids perceive us and all that within the music realm. So, all right, well, that's great. Now, are your kids musicians at all, or they do completely opposite?
No, no, no. The oldest one definitely opened my eyes to back when he was in high school to some new styles of music and some new artists, and I'm really glad he did. Some of them remain on my playlist, my workout playlist that I have been doing for 6-7 years. So
care to name any names?
No, actually, I don't. I don't care to name any of them. No, they're my, they're my sacred.
That's all right. That's all right.
Songs. Yeah.
Well, you know what I find? Okay, well, here's something. What you hear this a lot. I mean, okay, well, I've been hearing this probably since the early 90s. Today's music sucks. Is this true? How do you feel about that? I have my own feeling on it, but
I've been saying this for generations, as I have a few under my belt.
Yeah.
Every generation needs to have their own identity, and if they didn't, I would be singing Neil Diamond because that's what my parents listened to nonstop.
Exactly. That's a perfect way to.
Yeah. They let me go. They did. Hell, I was the fourth child of 4, and by then they just said, "Yeah, okay, go ahead, go join a rock band. See ya."
That's it. Awesome. Well, this is the thing too, and you're right, because every era has their style, and I mean, all the other types of music have been built upon those styles. So if there weren't those eras and those styles, we don't really know where we'd be. But there's a lot of rehashing too, of course. Things sort of come and go in cycles. And what I've noticed through my daughter, and I'm really thankful for this actually, because I went through my own phase of thinking, oh, I'm not sure I'm liking today's music anymore. I just want to listen to the old stuff. But I'm still open-minded, but I was a little concerned with what I was hearing. I wasn't feeling it. But suddenly, and because I'm open-minded and because my daughter's always listening to her music, she's been playing all these songs on YouTube, and I'll just stop what I'm doing and I'll think, what is that? That's really good. So she's really helped open my eyes. And this is her music, her era. And I never thought that I would be so into, maybe I shouldn't name any names myself, but honestly, a lot of it is what I tell my daughter. I say, Aaliyah, this band sounds like they're trying to imitate like New Order mixed with The Cult, mixed with Motley Crue. I said, these I can tell these new bands are into that old stuff. I can hear it. It's almost like a direct ripoff and mashup. And it's done well. It's not, bad, or it doesn't even feel too contrived or anything like that. But a lot of this retro has become new with a modern twist. So I'm hearing retro new wave, retro 80s rock, retro glam rock, all coming out with these young kids doing it, and really well produced and all that. So, and I won't name any names, but I'm happy to report that, you know what, there is some really great stuff coming around these days. So I'll leave it at that. So, So now here's another fan favorite. They want to know the whole figure skating thing. How did that come to be, and how long did you do that? And was it something that you thought might be a career, or was it just a passing phase?
No, I figure skated for 12 years.
That's a long time.
I did okay. I was definitely not the best in the school, but did well enough that I was invited to a Karen Magnuson bursary summer school.
Yeah.
And did okay, but at 16, if you weren't the best, you were too old. So
already
realized that really fast. Started music at the same time. I was weaning off figure skating, but in grade 10 or grade 11, I can't remember exactly now, I was offered a position to go be a full-time instructor, leave school, and teach in a small town in northern BC. And I decided that that's not what I wanted to do. I stayed in school, I graduated, and it was in those last 2 years, kind of in that time period, that my first band came together, and that's the path that I ended up going on. So.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess what's happening now is pretty amazing, this whole Darby Mills project. So what led you to that? So from Headpins, you were with them 30,
Well,
36
I
years?
kind of already mentioned what led to it. You
Yes.
know, life changes
Yes,
and
that too.
realities,
Yes.
and knowing that any day now I'm going to be another year older, and the thought of being the age I am right now when I started this, did not enter my mind.
Yeah, yeah.
And so how many years I have left doing the vocal strength of the Headpin style music, even the project music, it's full on vocals. I mean, I'm not a singer, I'm a belter, or at least while I'm performing that material, I'm a belter. You can't sing that stuff. Well, you can, but it doesn't sound like what it's meant to sound like. So I'm being very realistic that I might have limited years. Like, I'm being realistic. There would be limited years in how long I'm going to be able to do. Psst, come here, turn it. So and
yeah.
You know, when I'm wearing granny pantyhose, I don't know if I want to sing that. To be honest with you, so
yeah, no, I hear you.
That's kind of what the project was just to try and round it out a little bit. And a year ago started working on a local project here in the Okanagan, so that the amount of work an artist of my caliber gets per year is dwindling every year. The like-minded or like-aged ticket buyers are dying off. The truth. I'm a realist.
I know.
And or at least they're not coming out to 20 concerts a year anymore. They're doing 3 or 4, or they're not doing any.
Well, right now, unfortunately, there's not really any concerts happening right now.
That's how I get paid.
This is the thing. Live music is just taking such a beating. I really feel for the artists. I mean, that's their bread and butter. And I give them credit too for trying to do the Zoom shows, collaborations, which can be, a little tedious too, right? And I know you've been doing some home recording and trying to balance, getting bed tracks from various people within your, collaboration circle. And and I guess you've been, now, had you done a lot of home studio recording yourself before, or is this more being pushed on you now because of COVID? You're more.
No, I had not. My gear is ancient. It's but you know what? It functions, and
it works.
The vocals for the medley that we just put out, we're all done sitting in my bathroom with my husband sitting at our laptop, or my music laptop.
The engineer, that's awesome. Yeah, the husband engineer.
So,
I love it.
You know what? Perfection is a luxury today.
It is. But everything is sounding amazing. I mean, it sounds perfect to me. What I've heard. I mean, the medley, and also I really enjoyed the Took Don't Make You Feel video with the fans and all that, and then your cameo in there. It sounded great. It looked great with the fans. Todd sounded amazing on the vocals, of course, and you sounded great. Actually, you two together sounded really good. Your voices really fit well together. So that was a lot of fun.
Well, he can do anything.
Yeah, he is. He's great. He's got a fantastic voice, and he can go really high without that strained sound. He's just really open, It's great. And then there's you. You can go into the stratosphere yourself and then some.